The Holy Gospel of our Savior Jesus Christ according to John.
Glory to you, Lord Christ.
Pilate entered the headquarters again, summoned Jesus, and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "Do you ask this on your own, or did others tell you about me?" Pilate replied, "I am not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and the chief priests have handed you over to me. What have you done?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not from this world. If my kingdom were from this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not from here." Pilate asked him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." Pilate asked him, "What is truth?" The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
In the name of Christ, the King of love. Amen. Today is Christ the King Sunday. It is the last Sunday of our liturgical calendar, our liturgical year, so we could call this our New Year's Eve of the liturgical year. Happy New Year's, everyone. It is, and get ready for this, it's the crowning of the year. Christ the King Sunday is also known as Reign of Christ Sunday, or my favorite, Reign of Love Sunday. For who is Christ? Christ is love. So what reigns in our world? Love. This is Reign of Love Sunday. Next Sunday is the first Sunday in Advent, which is the New Year's Day of our church calendar. Next Sunday, we will begin the getting ready season to welcome that vulnerable, tiny little baby Jesus, born in a barn in the backwaters of the known world. He is the Word made flesh, but hardly what you would consider a king. But certainly, as we think about Jesus being born into the world, we can proclaim that that is exactly what we think of as self-emptying love, born from God. So next Sunday, we'll be getting ready for that vulnerable baby, but this Sunday, at the end of the year, we celebrate a sovereign Christ, a Jesus who knows exactly who he is. He's powerful in his testimony as he proclaims that love is the most powerful force in the universe. That's what we celebrate today, the power of love. Christ the King Sunday is not an ancient feast of the church year. It dates only back to 1925. I think that's 1 year before this building was built. It's as old as this building. 1925, it was a time between the world wars, and it was a time of rising secularism and rising nationalism. So Pope Pius XI wanted to assert Jesus' reign over all. And so he introduced a new feast to the church, Christ the King Sunday, at the very end of the liturgical year, so that we remember what is most powerful, certain, and truthful in our world. What is it that is more powerful than the powers of nations and kingdoms, judges, presidents, and kings? It is God's love. God's love is the most powerful thing that we can know in our life. And we know God's power of love through the life, death, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus Christ. Christ the King Sunday has also traditionally been called Judgment Sunday because of that line in the Nicene Creed, and he will come again to judge both the quick and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. And we certainly see that theme of judgment in our gospel lesson today. Now, lots of preachers have gotten themselves in trouble preaching about judgment, and I think we can look around the church and look around through history and see that sometimes preaching a judging God can be damaging to us. But I want to talk about judgment today, and I want to help reframe it for us, and I want to try as best I can to separate the judgment from the punishment. Instead, I want to redefine judgment as God being able to see us for exactly who we are. To be able to see us for exactly who we are. All that is good and all that is challenging, difficult, not so good. God sees you for exactly who you are. To be judged by God is to be known, to be seen, completely and fully. What does God see when God sees us? One wise priest once said to me, to be judged by God is to know that death has no power. Our gospel lesson appointed for today speaks directly to this theme of judgment. Jesus is facing death on the cross. He is standing before Pilate, who is judging him. These are the last days of Jesus' life. He's had his last supper with the disciples. He goes to the garden and prays, and while he's praying, he is arrested. He's handed over to Annas and then to Caiaphas, the chief priest. And then the chief priests hand Jesus over to the Roman ruler Pilate, for only Pilate has the power to condemn Jesus to death. So Jesus is standing before Pilate, and Pilate is trying to determine Jesus' guilt. Now remember, this is not a religious trial. He's before government authority. And so Pilate is asking questions like, is Jesus a claimant to power, a threat to the political stability of the Roman rule? Does he consider himself a king? But there's irony in this scene, in the way that the gospel tells us about this trial. For on the surface, it appears that Jesus is on trial for his life, but what is really happening is that Pilate, the chief priests, and all of us are being judged. Jesus sees us for exactly who we are, and the question is, will we see and know that Jesus' testimony is true? Will we see and understand that the true power of this world lies not in the pomp and cruelty of Pilate's court or the chief priest's council, but lies rather in the truth and power and authority of the witness of Jesus, the Messiah, the Good Shepherd King, who will lay down his life for the world. So Pilate isn't the judge, Jesus is the judge. And he sees us for exactly who we are. But Jesus is also, as John's gospel tells us and often depicts him, Jesus is also the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep. Earlier in John's Gospel, Jesus refers to himself as the Good Shepherd. Unlike the hired hand, when the wolf comes, the hired hand runs away. But Jesus, the Good Shepherd, lays down his life for the sheep. So we have, as Jesus stands before Pilate, these two identities of Jesus as judge and as Good Shepherd. And it's all revealed when Jesus speaks about truth. Jesus tells Pilate, "For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth." And then Pilate responds with that question that echoes even in our day: what is truth? Have you wondered that lately, as we live in a world of fractured and competing narratives? What is truth? It's interesting that Jesus remains silent in the face of this question, at least silent with words. Yet his whole life has been an answer to this question. Jesus has already declared in John's Gospel, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." And then Jesus goes on to show us exactly what is true. The truth is revealed when he pours out his life on the cross. On the cross is his final enthronement as king on a cross. And then the truth is revealed in the resurrection when death is defeated. And again, truth is revealed in his ascension into the heart of everything. He becomes all in all for us. So what is truth? The Good Shepherd King tells us that the truth is that the greatest power in the world is love, and that love is shown through the death of Jesus on the cross, the resurrection into new life, and the ascension into all in all. The truth is that death has no power, and so we are free to live lives of outpouring love. So, as we stand in the midst of tension or trial or turmoil or pandemic, be not afraid. Be not afraid, for Christ is King. Love reigns. The truth is that the most powerful force in our lives is the love that lays down its life for another. The judgment then is that death has no power. The consequence of the judgment is not punishment, but freedom. For we are free to face every obstacle and hardship, even the inevitability of death. We're free to face it with love and courage. For Jesus came into the world to testify to the truth. And what is truth? The truth is love. Thanks be to God.